So when I first started researching on YouTube about becoming a VTuber, I found so many channels about what kind of model to get, how to design your VTuber character, how to do simple things like pick what kind of rigging you wanted, live 2D versus 3D, just very, very basic things about becoming a VTuber. And no matter how hard I searched, I couldn't find anything about like more intermediate to advanced stuff about like growing your community or using social media platforms to really help you grow as a VTuber. So I thought that I would make a very simple video that will hopefully help you guys avoid some of the mistakes that I personally made and help you guys grow as a VTuber, not only by yourself, but with your community right there beside you. I hope you guys enjoy. Mwah! So, the first tip that I have for everybody is to find your brand. So, I know that a lot of content creators talk about, well, find your brand, find your niche, whatever it may be. And it doesn't have to be something as detailed as like, oh, well, I am obsessed with Legend of Zelda. So all of my streams are going to be Legend of Zelda based, and all of my videos are going to be, Zelda hidden achievements or items or 100% completion rate, whatever the case may be. It can be something as simple as, I want my brand to be wholesome and welcoming, which is kind of what I kind of wanted to build my own brand around. So when I was first creating Very, I I was going to actually start out as a lewdtuber. And as I began streaming and interacting with people on social media and Discord and other streamers' channels, I realized that when I watched other lewdtubers, that wasn't something that I wanted to do for myself. I wanted to have a more open community where everybody could feel comfortable coming. Not to say that we don't like flirting here, okay? We all know we flirt, we have fun, we like it here. But the most important thing is to pick 1 to 3 things about your channel or about your character or about you yourself as a person and really stick to those. Next is social media. So I've had a lot of people message me on Twitter and Discord and ask how did I get my social media to grow as quickly as it's growing? And the biggest tip that I can give somebody really is use everything you have at your disposal, right? So use Twitter, use Instagram, use TikTok, use YouTube, use Discord. I personally don't use Facebook, but use Facebook. Anything you can do to get to broaden your community is something that should be used and something that you should have at your disposal. So I am lucky enough to where I have a manager. Shout out to you, Zora. Thank you. And Zora takes a lot of my channel clips and creates YouTube shorts and TikToks out of those. And the great thing is, guys, with social media, if you are streaming and you have a short clippable moment that's I don't know, 8 to 30 seconds, you can make a clip out of that and you can make a TikTok and a YouTube short and an Instagram reel and a Twitter post. So if you can create 1 clip out of your stream, you have so many platforms where you can release it, which will let you continue to grow your community. As a small streamer or even a medium to large streamer, Discord is one of, I think, the most underutilized tools in the entire streaming community. Every VTuber that I know has a Discord, but they don't use it right. I will discuss Discord in another video, but if you are streaming currently and you do not have a Discord and it is not linked to your channel in any way, please do yourself a big favor and get it, advertise it, send people to it. You guys can really connect with your community when you're not streaming. And one of the biggest things that you want as a streamer is, even when you're offline, you still want to be communicating with your community. so that you're growing together with them. So Discord is a wonderful tool to use. Keep using it. One of the mistakes that I made was I didn't have a schedule when I first started streaming as a cam streamer and as a VTuber. So I know that a lot of small streamers are going to think, okay, well, if I stream for 8 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, then I'm going to have more opportunities for the big people to raid me. I'm going to have, a wider time to where viewers will be able to come in and click on my streams. And while that's true, you're going to burn yourself out. And the thing about Twitch that is so hard, that makes it so hard for a streamer to grow, is that you can have 100 views one day, and then if you don't come back at that same time the next day, and 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 the next day, you're going to lose out on a lot of those viewers. So even though people might follow you, that doesn't mean that they're going to come back and watch your streams. That just means that, they might have found your content interesting, and if you don't create engaging content every single stream, you're going to fall into that trap of, oh, well, if I just keep streaming, then I'll keep getting views. And exactly, consistency is key. And not only that, but viewer retention is extremely important. So you need to have something about you, about your brand, about your channel or your content that makes you not only entertaining to watch, but leaves the viewer feeling good after your stream is over. Makes them get a little bit sad when your stream is about to end. Makes them look forward to your next stream. And if you're streaming all the time, then you're not giving your community a chance to breathe and a chance to look forward to what you have coming up for them next. Because think about it. If you stream 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, how can you make consistently entertaining content if you're constantly on all the time? Like, I challenge you to stand in front of a mirror and try to be entertaining for 3 minutes. Like, really, because streaming is all about being an entertainer. So if you guys really want to improve as a streamer, stand in front of a mirror and just try to talk, try to hold a dialogue with yourself, and try to be entertaining for 3 full minutes and not have any dead air. It's really, really, really hard, right? It's impossible sometimes. And to do that for 8 hours a day, 5 or 7 days a week, it's too much. It will burn you out, and it will make you hate streaming, which is something we do not want. This is probably the most important thing that I can suggest to any of you. Learn how to entertain 0 viewers. And I know that it sounds a little bit silly, because our goal as streamers is to get more viewers, right? And not just more viewers, but a community, people that will consistently come to your streams, welcome new viewers into your channel, be active in your Discord and on your social media accounts, and really just engage with one another and with you, right? But here's why it's so important. It is so important because if you make it big, and that's all of our goal, right? Yes, it is. We all have that dream if we're a streamer. And making it big to me could be completely different than making it big to you. Making it big to me could be having, 60 viewers every time I stream, and that's it, and I'm happy with that. And making it big to you could be like, Iron Mouse or Shoto Big, or, PewDiePie or Mr. Beast, or whatever the case is. But here's the thing. This is why being able to entertain viewers is so important. When you have 0 viewers, it's pretty much the same as having 1,000 viewers, because when you have 1,000 viewers, the chat is going so fast to where you can't read anything anyway. So if you're not able to entertain 0 viewers, How do you think you're going to be able to entertain 1,000 viewers when your chat is going 100 million miles an hour and like way too fast to read, right? So along with the being able to entertain 0 viewers, one of the biggest tips that I can give you, and so many content creators and Twitch streamers and YouTube streamers will tell you the same thing. Turn off your viewer count. Okay, just don't think about it. Just turn the damn thing off, and I'm gonna tell you why. Hi Chewy. First off, your OBS or your slobs or whatever, even your Twitch channel, their view count, it's not in real time. It takes a few seconds or 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes to update it. And so when you see that little 0 viewer count, you might actually have 1 or 2 people in your chat. And if you're not talking and not being engaging, they're gonna click off. You have 5 to 8 seconds to grab somebody's attention, and that's like max, okay? So if you can't grab their attention within 5 seconds, they're going to click off of you immediately. Okay, look, let's be honest. Internet people are lazy, right? We know it. We've all been there. I've done it, you've done it, you know, we've started a YouTube video and it wasn't entertaining, you know, they had like an intro like, oh hey, I hope you like and subscribe and go check out my sponsor. Man, screw that shit, I want to get to the good stuff. So we skip ahead or we move on to another video. So you have 5 seconds, and when you're streaming, it makes it even harder because you're live. So if you're not doing something in those 5 seconds when that viewer first clicks on, you're going to lose them. Don't lose your viewers. Be talking constantly, like never ending. And don't, okay, I'm gonna give you guys some tips on how to consistently talk through a stream without it seeming rushed and unnatural and just like you're talking to say something. So first things first, you guys, I know I've said this multiple times and I'm going to keep saying it. Keep talking during your stream. Okay, that's extremely important. If you don't know what to talk about, make some notes beforehand. If you had a weird story to tell that happened to you this week, tell that story. Narrate what you're doing in the game and why. You know, if you're trying to get an achievement or something, explain why you're doing what you're doing and what your end goal is. Constantly be talking about your opinions on the game or the content that you're playing or watching or doing. For example, like say if you're playing the new Pokemon, right? You give your opinions on how, you know, like if you were a kid like me, I dreamed of an open world Pokemon game when I was a kid. I was like, wah! You know, when I heard that it was coming out. And then you get into it and you see some things that you really like a lot and then other things that you don't like so much. Explain those, talk about them. And the most important thing is tell your viewers why. Why and open-ended questions are your best friend when you are a streamer. For example, say somebody comes into the chat and they say, "Hi, how are you today?" Would you guys just say, "I'm good, how are you?" Or, "I'm doing all right, this crazy thing happened to me. Has anything like that ever happened to you?" So if you guys are able to engage your chatters and your viewers, and if you guys are able to really connect with them, and guys, the effort it takes to say hi to somebody or welcome them into your stream is nothing. It doesn't cost you anything. It takes 3 seconds of your time. And I promise every viewer wants to be recognized. Every viewer wants their streamer or their VTuber or their whatever, you know, content creators to notice them, right? Like, "Wow, notice me, senpai, notice me." that's what everybody wants at heart, right? Because, and I mean, okay, unless you're a lurker, in which case enjoy your lurk. But those talking in chat, they're talking in chat because they want to engage with you. They want to know your opinion. They want to tell you about something crazy that happened to them. So I cannot stress enough how important it is to talk to your chat, to welcome your new viewers in. Like, for example, like Nova just came back from, you know, going wherever he went and doing whatever he was doing. And it takes me 2 seconds to be like, welcome back, Nova, right? That's all it takes. And that's enough sometimes. I can't tell you guys how many times I've gone into a small indie VTubers chat and I've lurked for a little bit, and I've lost count of the times when I have seen somebody in chat say, you know, hey, how are you? Or hi there. And the streamer doesn't say anything. And I get it, right? Like, if you're playing a game, you're really focused on the game or whatever. But I honestly, every minimum, like 20 or 30 seconds, I look away from what I'm doing to check my chat. And it's so important because it makes your viewer feel welcomed. It makes them feel noticed. It makes them feel vindicated. And they could be having the shittiest day, and like the simplest hi, I see you, like I recognize you, I'm glad you're back, is going to make their entire week, and it's going to keep them coming back to you. Thank you, Zora. So Zora just said something you do really well is the way that you talk with chat feels very genuine and not fake. And Nova said it makes you feel more connected. And that's true. They're absolutely right. And that's something that's kind of hard for a lot of new streamers to understand, is that if you're not genuine when you're on stream, your viewers are going to be able to find out. You know, like if you're having a bad day, that's going to transfer over into your stream, right? So please, guys, if you're having a shitty day and streaming makes you anxious or nervous, or like you get like an anxiety attack when you press go live, don't stream. Like, postpone it, come back to it, because that ultimately, that's going to hurt your viewers. And you don't want that. You want to make your viewers happy, right? Like, you want your community to be all together. And if you're bringing that negative energy into your community, then they're going to put it right back in. So, say for example, you're really down about your numbers, right? You've been looking at Twitter, and you've been looking at your analytics on Twitch or YouTube, and you can't. Jedi just said, your cats are a good example of the community. And he's right, because anytime one of my cats comes up while I'm streaming, I pick them up, I let them purr into the microphone, or I talk to them, and my community loves it. I mean, they go nuts for my cats. You know, I foster kittens, and I bring some of my outside passion into my streaming, and it makes them so happy whenever one of my foster kittens comes up and they cause havoc and mayhem. And I know how much they like it, right? Because I can see it, you know, they interact in the chat, and they, you know, say, you know, give head pats to Chewy or hugs whoever. And they're talking about my cats, right? Like, they're here for my cats. They're not here for me. So give your viewers a reason to stay. And not only to stay, but give them a reason to actually engage with not only you, but with other members of your community. Ideally, what we want as streamers is we want a good community that is very strong, that is welcoming, that is supportive of one another, and that anyone feels like they can be a part of, right? Or at least me personally, that's what I want from my community. You might want like a very sussy, sexy, flirty, whatever community. And that's fine. But that's why it's important to really know your brand and to know your niche. But for me, for my community, if you have a small core group of community members, like for me, for example, I usually have about anywhere from, I don't know, 10 to 15 people that will come in every single stream. Maybe not right at the beginning, maybe not right in the middle, but they'll pop in, they'll stay for a little while, they'll lurk, they'll engage in chat, they'll talk to me, they'll talk to other members of the community, they'll welcome new chatters in. And that's so important. So growing your community is more about the quality of people rather than the quantity of people. How do you make a viewer go from a random click on your stream to a permanent member of your community? That is the question we all want to know, right? So Spaghetti said that when they first came to the community, they were immediately welcomed by not only me, but by my chatters as well, and my community. The important thing is that you need a way to make that viewer go from just being a passive viewer into an active member of your community. So the best way to do that, and it's the easiest way by far, respond to your chat. Okay? I promise it's very simple. It's very easy. All you have to do when somebody comes in and says hi, you say, hey, I'm so-and-so, how's it going? Or you don't even have to introduce yourself. You can do something as simple like, hey, what's up? So that means that you might have to pause your game or, stop drawing or whatever you're streaming. It might mean you have to put that on hold. Well, that's important. Your community is way more important than your stream, and I can't stress that enough. Yes, your streams are live. Yes, we all care about viewers, even if we say we don't. But the important thing is viewer retention. So responding and welcoming people is the very first thing that you should do like that. Something that I personally like to do that really gets my community going is I have little things like a question of the day that I do sometimes. So every day I'll have a different question. I have it as a command on my on my channel, so they can do !QOTD. I do forget to update it sometimes, I will admit. But I have that, and exactly just like that. So they can hit !QOTD, it says question of the day, and it gets a conversation going. So if your chat is quiet, you can hit question of the day, one of your mods can hit it, one of your viewers can hit it, and that will get some conversation going. Make sure it's an open-ended question, guys. Something else that I do is I have something that I do called Good, Bad, and Weird. So I do !GBW. You can have good and bad. You can have like a weird thing that happened to you. And you can ask your viewers, you can tell your good thing and bad thing. Like, my good thing that happened this week is I'm going to Vegas. Yay, Vegas! A bad thing that happened to me this week, Twitch keeps cutting out like every 20 seconds. A weird thing that happened to me this week is I had a hobo come up to me and tell me that Jesus was going to save me because my hair was red. Weird. But it makes for a good story, right? So that's always something that you guys can do. That's another reason why you guys really shouldn't stream 24/7, is because if all you do is stream, you're not going to have anything to talk about during your stream. So it's kind of like a vicious cycle, right? You stream too much, you don't have anything to talk about, so you don't talk about anything, and the cycle goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Another thing that's very, very important is to really engage. So I'm not talking about just chatting. I'm talking about using add-ons to your stream. So if you can use an add-on like the Twitch integrated throwing system, which is called TITS, or you can use, I personally use Mix It Up, which is a program that links my VTube studio to my Twitch channel, so they can redeem things like head pats or bonks, or give me awesome like Thug Life sunglasses, or put me to bed. So you can add a lot of really cool things to do. So like for my tits, if somebody wants to like throw presents at me or throw little foxes at me, or bits, I have it set up to when they, you know, cheer with bits, it goes off. So, and by the way, your viewers are going to love bullying you. For real, they love it. I love doing it to other streamers that I watch. It's a lot of fun. It's a very easy way for you to interact with your chat. And it's just something. So using outside programs like Mix It Up and Tits, and I'm still finding new programs that I can use to keep my chatters and my viewers engaged. One of the biggest things that they love are not only channel points. I have set up Streamlabs loyalty points, and I call it Faith because my character is a goddess, and she's trying to get enough worshippers so she can regrow all of her tails and go back up to the celestial realm and get revenge on the gods that threw her down to the human realm. So work it into your lore or your, you know, story somehow. But these are points that are different from Twitch channel points. So they can go on things that we call a heist. I make up like a really short story. Like Very needs you to go to this village and steal a false idol because she wants the village to worship her and not this other god. And they can use loyalty points to go on this heist, or they can gamble with them, or they can play like slot machines with them. And this is all text-based in the actual chat. So it keeps chat moving, and it keeps people engaged, and it keeps them coming back. But it's not just the points that they're after. I give them rewards for these points, right? So for example, I have a thing to where you can go onto this specific site, and you can redeem these loyalty points for things. You can like, so I'll get them like a game on Steam that's $20 or less for 5,000 points, or I will get them art of their character for, you know, 2,500 points, or they can get a signed postcard of Very for 500 points, or they can make me drink water instead of Coca-Cola for like 20 points. So any little reward that you can think of is something that you can do to keep your community engaged. So next thing that I've found that really helps me personally, I found that for every stream that I do, it really helps me to have a little bit of a structure. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Very, it's a live stream. How structured can you actually get if you're just like playing a game? And here's my answer. You don't actually have to have a full structure, right? You do need a goal. Give yourself a reachable goal, right? So for me, like, I play a lot of RPGs. I play a lot of like farming games. I play a lot of like action adventure games. So one of my goals can be as simple as I'm going to make it to chapter 5 in Crisis Core Reunion. And this is something that I actually did recently. You need to have, I like to call it a bet, but it's kind of more like a risk or a punishment, or there has to be stakes. Okay, stakes is a better word. There have to be stakes, right? Why is a viewer going to come and just watch you get to chapter 4? Like, what? Why? I'll tell you why. I'm going to get to chapter 4 in Crisis Core, and every time I die, I'm going to give a gift sub. Okay, this is something that I actually personally just did very, very recently. And I got so much more engagement in that stream. Not only engagement, but my community gifted 50 gift subs for that stream, which is crazy. It's nuts. It blew my mind. I was beyond humbled, right? And yes, it was around the holidays, but more and more lately, I've been getting people gifting subs in my community, which is fantastic, and it makes me so happy because, you know, I give to my community, and for my community to give to each other, it makes me so happy. And here's why having stakes are important. If you have stakes, there's going to be a reason for that viewer to stick around. There's going to be a reason that makes it more entertaining for them. So, for example, every time I die, I give a gift sub. Well, that makes it kind of funny, right? Because now my viewers either really, really, really want me to die, or they don't want me to die at all. So it adds a little bit of an intensity to the stream that might not otherwise be there. And finally, you need to have an ending point. You need to have a conclusion. You need to have a place that's comfortable for you to stop. So if you exactly. So keep your viewers hooked. There needs to be stakes. There has to be a reason why they should hang around and watch you versus another streamer. So I know that it's very tempting if you have a lot of viewers to extend your stream, and I'm guilty of it. I've done it. I still do it. I still do it a lot, actually. But guys, set a specific time that you will not go over. So say you're supposed to stream for 3 hours on Monday, but you have more viewers than you've ever had on Monday, and your chat is moving along well, and your viewers are engaged, and you're like riding high, and you're doing so well in whatever game you're playing, and nobody wants it to end. Good, don't end it, keep it going, but set a cutoff point, you guys. Not only because Twitch counts, you know, the longer you stream, that gets pulled into your average viewer count, right? So if you stream for a short amount of time and you have a lot of viewers, that's going to boost your Twitch analytics. But if you stream for a long amount of time and have higher viewers over that time, but you know, you're streaming at like 11 o'clock at night and nobody's really on, that kind of like knocks against you. So set a cutoff point that's comfortable for you. You know when your community is most active. Even if your community is 3 people, when is the right time for you to stream to those 3 people? And really stick to your cutoff points, guys. It will keep you from burnout. It will make your viewers want to come back. It will make them want to watch you more. It goes back to what I said earlier. If you are on and constantly streaming, number 1, you can't be entertaining for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And number 2, your viewers aren't gonna have a real reason to come back because you're always there. So they can think, oh, you know, if I miss this stream, it's fine, and if I miss the next one, it's fine because they're gonna be on the day after that, and the day after that, and the one after, and the one after, and on and on and on. Some other like little ideas that you guys can use for stakes. You know, if you don't have money, that's fine. You don't need money. Although if you're a VTuber, you probably had to shell out quite a bit of money for model and overlays and logos and you know, art, whatever. But if you spend way too much money and you don't want to give away gift subs because you're saving that money for a new model toggle or a new overlay or what have you, You can do other things like you can like let chat create a Twitter post or an Instagram post that you have to post. Or you can have your community choose what your next stream will be or what game you'll play next. And you can have them just kind of, you know, pick something for you. And it can be something serious, it can be something silly, it can be something scary. Something that really helped me is I went and I looked at what other streamers were doing successfully that didn't cost a lot of money or engage their community a lot. Like if you're a face cam streamer, eating spicy food is always something that people will come to watch. It seems like communities love that. It's a wholesome thing, it's funny, and it always turns out pretty well for people. For example, your viewers are going to hang around more if there's, you know, you give them a reason to, you give them a hook. So I was using the example when I did my Crisis Core stream. Every time I died, I gave away a gift sub. And that actually ended up with like a few members of my community gifting. I think we had a total of like 70 gift subs in that one stream given, which is insane. It's insane. And the reason why the viewers not only came, but the reason why they stayed is because there were stakes. And I was saying how you can use simple stakes like the chat can create a Twitter post, or you can change the color of your model's eyes, or you know, chat gets to choose like your next emote that you order. It can be very simple things. If you don't have money, it can be something as simple as recording a voice line for chat, or adding a new command to your channel, adding new sound effects or channel point redeems. I mean, anything you guys can think of, you can use it as stakes for your channel. Here's another thing, something extremely important, guys. I cannot stress this enough, okay? I really can't. Like, if you take nothing else away from this tangent of mine, please, God, listen to what I'm about to say to you, okay? Make it easy to go back through your VODs and create clips so you can make TikTok videos, YouTube shorts, and YouTube videos if that's something that you want to pursue. If you're only using Twitch as a platform, you are not going to be as successful as if you would use Twitter and TikTok and YouTube. Let me tell you guys why. When you stream, you only have a set amount of hours during a day when people can find you, right? So when you're live, and when you're offline, you're offline. If you don't have any other platforms that you're sending your community to, whether it's you know, your TikTok and your YouTube, if you guys can use those different platforms to reach out not only to your current community but to new people who might be interested in the content you're creating, you're going to have a much easier time with not only growth but with retaining your audience, which is something that is more important than the number of follows, is the number of how many people come to your streams and stay, or come to your channel and stay. It's those repeat viewers that are going to become the core members of your community. And that is why it is so important to engage with your community and be active with your community, and to you know, coerce and manipulate your community into talking with you, and you know, just communicating with you, having a conversation with you. So Twitter is a gigantic tool, especially for VTubers, more so than normal streamers. And that shocked me because for the most part, normal streamers don't use Twitter at all. Kind of wrapping up here a little bit, guys. Have patience, you guys. I know that all of us who stream, I can tell you, turn off your viewer count, numbers don't matter. It's quality over quantity. I can scream that to you all day long, and they're still gonna matter, right? Because our viewer count to a lot of us is vindication, right? So if we have higher views, if more people come back to our streams, if we're able to retain more people, if our community is active, that's telling us that we're doing something right. It's validation for us. So I've done the grind when I was a face cam streamer. It didn't work. I was more worried about my viewer number and not how many people were coming back. I was just concerned with my view count at the time, every time when I was live. And I believe that a better way to measure your growth is by how much your core community is welcoming and how active your core community is with you. And guys, if your core community is 5 people, that's amazing. Congratulations. Do you guys know how hard it is to get 5 people to choose to take time out of the day and give it to you? That's a big achievement. Like, we are hard on ourselves as streamers. You are, I am, we all are. I think it kind of comes with the territory a little bit. But that being said, be patient, you guys. Your growth isn't going to happen overnight. It's something that you want to happen organically. Yes, you can get raids from 3 different people at one time. And yes, you can get 50 viewers in 10 seconds. But are those viewers going to stay? Are they going to stay? Is your content good? Is it fun? Is it informative? Are you derpy and silly and funny? And do you make your viewers laugh? Do you educate them? Do you, whatever it is you're bringing to them, you have to make sure to do it in every single stream. Otherwise, they're not going to come back and they're not going to stay. And ultimately, what we want is we want our viewers to stay. Hopefully for our amazing, awesome personalities, or at the very least, the content that we're making. So, that being said, how do you entertain somebody? I know in the beginning we talked about ways to keep from talking so that we don't have any dead air when we're live. I gave you guys a few different tips that you can do to entertain 0 viewers or 3,000 viewers, whatever the case may be. The important thing to remember is that entertaining is a skill, you guys. Ultimately, you're not going to be great at it when you first start, or you might be. You could be a very energetic, outgoing person. You could be, a total extrovert, and you might be awesome at it, but you're not going to be as good as you will be if you continue to do it and you continue to practice. So the more you learn how to talk to 0 viewers or 5 viewers, or the more you engage with your chat, or the more external tools you use like tits or mix it up to keep your viewers engaged, the more you'll be able to entertain them. You'll learn what does work and doesn't work for your stream. We haven't touched on collabs, and I will do that in a separate video. But a lot of streamers really push for collabs with streamers that have, as many or greater numbers than they do. But a lot of people choose the wrong streamers to do a collab with. So like for me, I have a very wholesome, flirty yet unromanceable, unattainable kind of vibe. We keep it very wholesome in here, but we also flirt. We have our fun. And I made the mistake of collabing with like more of a lewd tuber. And guys, I watched my engagement drop like a rock. My engagement dropped, my viewers dropped, my community was quiet. I made a bad decision. I made a bad choice, and my stream suffered for it. Not only that, but I believe it made my community uncomfortable. And that is the absolute last thing I want to do. That's the last thing you ever want to do. The most important thing is that we want our community to feel welcome, and we want them happy to be a part of our community. So really be careful on who you choose to collab with. Make sure that you either talk with them before you guys go live together, or you guys have a plan on what you're going to do. And please, God, watch their content, guys. Watch their content. See how they interact with their chat and their community organically before you invite them to come interact with your community. When you're entertaining people, it helps to ask yourself, what do you like about other VTubers or streamers? Why do you watch their content? What makes you watch them versus the 200 other streamers that are doing what they're doing? Is it their sense of humor? Is it the way that they talk? Is it the way that they interact with their community? Is it because of how informative their videos are? You know, what sets them apart from everybody else? Don't copy what they're doing, but take inspiration from what they're doing. Find something that will work for you. Ask your community, you guys. I ask my community weekly for ideas for what kind of streams they would like to see in the future, what games they want me to play, you know, ideas of things to do. Really listen to your community, you guys. You have a lot of amazing people in them, and if you're going to grow with your community, you're going to need to listen to them. So that is something that I can't stress enough. You know, poll your community if you need to. Just communicate with them. You know, communication is key in every aspect. So find your own niche, ask your community for help, and be genuine, guys. Being genuine is the most important thing that I can tell you about entertaining. You know, if you're like the class clown at heart and you're trying to do like serious, educational, informative streams, stop it. Why are you doing that? Like, you use your humor, bro. You use it, you know, you use what makes you you. And if people see that you're genuine, if they, you know, see that you're enjoying what you're doing, they're going to come back. And if you're constantly grinding and putting in 8 hours a day for 4 to 6 days a week, and you're exhausted from streaming and you don't sleep enough because you're worried about, well, what if I miss all the viewers in the UK? You're gonna stop enjoying your streams, and that's horrible. Don't do that. So take care of yourself, take care of your community, and just keep going, guys. If I can do it, you guys can do it. Seriously. I think that's all I wanted to cover in this video. If you guys have any questions, I would be more than happy to take them and to answer them as best as I can, and share my experience with you guys, as limited as it may be. Please remember, guys, that I really only truly started streaming as a VTuber in October. However, I've been told by a few people that I'm doing pretty well, and I like to think I am. The important thing, again, though, guys, is you know, the quality of your community, guys, not the quantity.